Today we're going to take a look at the life and career of a Hollywood legend, Angie Dickinson. I think we've all seen Angie on both our small screens as well as the big screen. And if you're like me, you just might be asking, where the heck did she disappear to? Well, hang on for just a minute, we'll get to that. But first, let me provide a little bit of context. Angie was born on September 30th, 1931 in Colne, North Dakota. And as she became a teenager, it was clear to everyone around her that she was truly something special. However, her path to fame wasn't easy. She was raised in a very humble home, and her family got by on an extremely meager income that came from her father's work as a projectionist in their town's local theater. It was, however, Angie's frequent visits to watch movies while her father worked that spawned a lifelong love for the entertainment industry. Young Angie had huge dreams of being a big star and playing characters that were glamorous and sexy, but still tough and able to hold their own against men. With a bit of hard work and a little bit of luck, sometimes dreams do come true, and that certainly was the case with Angie. And I could talk about her slow rise to fame, but really, it wasn't all that slow, truth be told. Sure, Angie worked for a while in a clerical position and then in a parts factory. But before she knew it, she was getting roles on television shows like Death Valley Days, The Legend of Wyatt Earp, and Cheyenne. And then the movies came a-knocking. And this woman was a force to be reckoned with. Angie stood tall alongside the legendary John Wayne in the classic movie Rio Bravo. And who can forget her appearance in Ocean's 11, hanging out with Frank Sinatra like it's just another day in the neighborhood. That reminds me. It was just a few months ago where I read an article on Fox News where Angie claimed that Frank was the love of her life. Now, ultimately, she decided against tying the knot because she knew Frank's late-night lifestyle wouldn't result in a happy marriage. And she was great friends with Frank's ex. Prior to making it big, Angie had been married to football player Angie Dickinson, and after heating things up with Sinatra, she would eventually marry the legendary Burt Bacharach. According to Angie, life with Burt wasn't always easy, and Burt later on in life would admit that he struggled to be the kind of husband that Angie so desperately wanted, someone who would love her and only her. The best thing about their union was the birth of their daughter, Nikki. Born almost 3 months early, Nikki would have numerous health issues throughout her life. And sadly, she passed away in 2012 at the all-too-young age of 40. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's get back to the 70s and return to a time and place where a magical show called Policewoman was on television every single week. The program ran on NBC for 4 seasons, and on the show, Angie played Sergeant Pepper Anderson, an undercover police officer working for the LAPD. Angie was so good on the show that she won a Golden Globe in 1975, and she was nominated for an Emmy numerous times. Angie was 43 years old when this groundbreaking series started, and it was the first hour-long drama with a female lead as a police officer. The show is credited with influencing a huge increase in the number of women selecting law enforcement as a career. And the show was so popular that Angie even had her very own Policewoman action figure. Just seeing the artwork on this package makes me wonder, if we hadn't had Policewoman, would we have ever gotten shows like Charlie's Angels? Definitely food for thought.
They said fighting crime was a man's job until she came along. Angie Dickinson is Policewoman, and she's back, starring in the role that made her famous. Also starring Earl Holliman. This crime-fighting team is always in the thick of things.
It's going down now.
Don't miss Policewoman.
She's coming on strong. Weekdays at 5. Just watch.
Here's a fun bit of trivia. According to Wikipedia, as of 2023, Policewoman is the oldest live-action television series with all of its main actors still living. You know, it makes me kind of sad that on numerous occasions Angie has said that she really regrets making this show. Truthfully, I think that's just crazy. For whatever reason, Angie feels like Policewoman hampered her movie career during the 70s. She took the role because she had been promised that the TV show would make her a household name. And it truly did. Fast forward to the 80s, and after making a memorable appearance in Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill, Angie hit a bit of a rough patch. The roles she got weren't quite as killer as they were before. It's like the industry forgot about her incredible talent. Angie's fade didn't happen all at once. I remember seeing her in the remake of Sabrina, starring Harrison Ford, and in another movie called Pay It Forward with Helen Hunt. She even did ads for the avocado industry, like the one you're looking at right now. You noticed the avocado there in her hands, right? But still, as time went on, Angie really did start to disappear right before our very eyes. Think about it. When was the last time you saw this beautiful woman in a movie or even on TV? It is entirely possible that Angie simply recognized that Hollywood and the journalists that cover it can often be quite cruel to aging actresses. They care little about the feelings of an actor from decades gone by. They're just looking for a sensational headline, something to titillate and cause intrigue. The more I think about it, the less I blame Angie for keeping a low profile these days. Without a doubt, Angie has gotten older. We all do. So who can blame her for wanting to protect her feelings along with her privacy, as well as the need to preserve her memory as one of the most beautiful women to ever grace the big or small screen? I certainly can't. A few years back, Angie visited with CBS News journalist Mo Rocca. And during their chat, they talked about Sinatra, Bacharach, and would you believe Johnny Carson? Clearly, Angie has lived a heck of a life. But she's never written a tell-all book, and she certainly wasn't willing to give too many details away during this interview. Clearly, this lady knows how to keep a secret. You know, even though Angie seems to have vanished from the red carpet, her legacy truly does live on, loud and proud. Without a doubt, Angie Dickinson left quite the mark on Hollywood, breaking barriers for strong independent women in the industry. Yep, Sgt. Pepper Anderson was such a badass. And you know what? So is Angie Dickinson. Hey, thanks for watching, folks, and a special thank you to the extremely fine and wonderful individuals who have clicked on that little join button below the video screen there and have elected on their own accord to become supporting members of my channel. Each one of these people identified right here are truly appreciated. Channel members have had access to this video for a couple of days now, and here are a few of the comments that they've left. Keith E. said, and she doesn't have to worry about getting old to me since my vision is pretty much gone. I will always remember her as that gun-toting policewoman who would kick in the door in a second. It would make my day if she would call into one of your live chats. That definitely would make my day as well, Keith. And Zuperplex said, as I recall, the Sgt. Pepper character first appeared in an episode of the TV series Police Story. You know what? I think you're right. I vaguely recall that as well, Zuper. And Debbie D laughed at my avocado joke. She also said, Policewoman was not watched in my house, and like many families in the 70s, we only had one TV, but I remember the actress's name. Now that I know more about her, I will go see if I can stream Policewoman somewhere. You know what? There are a handful of episodes right here on YouTube, Debbie D. And finally, Thrash Pondo Pons recalls that he used to watch Policewoman with his grandparents. Sounds like great memories, my friend.